Hey folks, Steve here with an unboxing video for you today. Game is NATO, The Cold War Goes Hot, designed by Bruce Maxwell and published by Compass Games. This is a designer signature edition release from Compass. It is taking a game from several decades ago and giving it a sort of new life and a new printing. I think the subtitle is even a little bit different. I think it was something like NATO, uh, the next war or something like that. And obviously, I believe it was published back in the 80s, sort of a different thought process then, right? If it was hypothetical, here it is simply um, a alternate history hypothetical at this point because the Cold War did not go hot, at least not in terms that this game is portraying. So yeah, this is something I've had on pre-order for a long time. I went in on it and it has finally arrived. So we'll take a look. Something neat to see here. You've got your blue and your red, pretty standard for Cold War stuff. On the bottom is red, and on the other side is blue. I just kind of like that for one reason or the other. We'll go ahead and get this shrink wrap ripped off, and we'll be able to start talking about the uh, game itself. We'll take a look at the contents. This is pretty standard Compass Games box. It's not a super duper heavy duty one, but it is pretty heavy. It's got a lot of heft to it in terms of what's going to be inside the box. We'll just look on the back real quick. You can see an example of the map, a preview of the map, very much Germany, or good chunks of Germany there. There's the blurbs you can read. Take the time to read all of that, showing examples of the counters, all this good stuff. The complexity is listed as medium. One turn is 24 hours, 15 miles to a hex, dealing with brigades and divisions, abstract, air, and naval. Plays 2 to 4, but best with 2. Medium for solitaire. It's largely going to be hex and counter. And 3 to 8 hours based on the scenario. We're going to see 2 maps, 4 counter sheets, 8 player aid cards, 3 reinforcement cards, rules, booklet, playbook, and 2 dice. So that's pretty sizable in terms of content. That's why it feels so hefty just to hold. We'll get this guy open. And we have 2 sheets of errata, it looks like. Looks like they gave me 2 pieces of paper, but they both say the same thing as far as I can tell. Specifically, counters bearing an A or air reinforcements, counters bearing an S or C reinforcements. They both deploy in the strategic reserve box at the start for NATO and Warsaw Pact. So, okay, well, good to know. 2 dice, no specific color. Okay, so rather than having a blue-red, it's just whatever dice you get. In this case, white and black, which is fine and dandy for me. All right, we got some charts. So Warsaw Pact War Preparations chart, Chemical Strike, Airspace Effects, supply charts. On the back there's a bunch of NATO information, Zone of Control Effects chart, or it's probably just NATO for the game, not the faction. Zone of Control Effects chart, unit movement summary chart. So you can see there's a lot of different things in here about what kinds of units can do what types of movement, yes or no, or some additional information. That is one player aid sheet. Here is another that has different content. There's an alert level. There's a unit summary chart, deep interdiction table. Here we have a combat results table. You can see there's some nuance to the results. It's not simply a straight, there's some nuance to it, right? You can see there's some red text that signifies counterattacks. There's going to be attacker loses a step, defender loses a step, retreats are possible, and all sorts of column shifts are also possible, and more on the counterattack stuff. Looks like we have another chart here. This is air campaign tables, strategic surprise scenario, strike table, just different things for different scenarios that you might be playing. Some additional Warpact interception tables, nuclear strikes, airspace charts, interception table. Lots of tables, lots of stuff to look at there for sure. They've got a bunch of other stuff wrapped up in these sort of, I'm not sure what you call them, holding sleeves. We'll just knock that out of the way. Bear with me here. Sorry for bumping the camera. My gosh, so unprofessional today. Whole bunch of stuff here. So let's just take a pause. We have the playbook. This is a very thick playbook. This is sizable. This is quite big. The back is a full photograph. So this is coming in at 55 pages on the back end. And if we just take a moment to look through this, there's a nice table of contents here. You can see the battle tap scenario, strategic surprise scenario. So a lot of scenario information and special rules for whichever scenario you're choosing to pick. There's some recommendations on vassal play. There's design notes, historical unit information, order of battle, bibliography. All of that's going to be cool. I look forward to reading the design notes. So all of this is just nice in-depth information, setup information. You see it's a lot of charts and then a lot of explanation, different things. So you may not be reading this cover to cover, but just depending on what scenario you're looking to play, then you're going to want to read that. It is some glossy paper, 2-column format. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of pictures, but there's a lot of design notes and notation, which is always valuable and worthwhile to have. Oh, I see. This is really all the order of battle stuff, but the actual scenario information appears to be pretty straightforward. So yeah, looking good there. We'll set that aside. This is a strategic surprise reinforcement schedule. Reinforcement schedule. So player aid sheet for that. Looks like another copy of some of the other sheets that we've already seen, player aid cards that we've already seen. So just enough, multiple player aid sheets, but enough for each player if you're playing a 2-player game. NATO reinforcements for the different scenarios. Does a pretty good job showing, hey, this arrives game turn 1, game turn 2, and so on. This is a big fold-out player aid sheet. So this is showing, this is very large, by the way, a big fold-out sequence of play, and on the back side is a very large terrain effects chart. Very large. This is quite big, and I wonder, yes, thank goodness, there are 2 copies of this, so either you and your opponent can each have one and fold it up and take a look at it, or if you're going to play solo like me, very likely, you could have each of these set up under plexiglass or next to the games, and each showing each different side. So one showing the sequence of play, one showing the terrain effects, basically. And we have a very thick rulebook. So same deal here. We're looking at glossy, 2-column format, full color. Looks like we have a lot of graphics, which is good for showing what things are. Looks like it's, yep, examples of what the game concept is. I'm seeing lots of design notes, which to me is a very, very, very good thing. I've said this before in a lot of places, design notes really can make a game because it helps you understand the design intent. Got some examples of how things work, like airspace control. More advanced concepts will have the examples. That's good. Quite a lot, actually. And you have a lot of different game mechanics in here. There are air rules. There's chemical stuff. Nuclear strikes. Plenty of stuff to chew into. This whole double-page spread is a combat example. Quite in-depth. More example information. I mean, this is looking like this. I won't think too hard about what errata could exist. There's always some errata, but just looking at the general production quality of what we're looking at here, everything looks really good. Lots of designer notes, pictures, examples, and just really, really nice production quality of everything that I can see. This rulebook is coming in at 87 pages. That might seem like quite a lot, and maybe ultimately it is. You can see even the table of contents takes up 2 whole pages. So, you know, I think there's going to probably be some hurdle for someone trying to play this game. Like, you know, is there a beginner scenario that's small enough to just learn little bits of the rules at a time? I'm not sure. But quite a big book. But nice and yeah, nice, well made. Designer signature edition quality, I would say so. Next, we've got the maps. Now, I'm not going to bust all these out. There are 2 paper maps. They are paper. I know some folks, you know, if you're looking for mounted boards, that's not going to be what you get here. Ultimately, I am less interested in mounted maps as I go because I just am so used to using my plexiglass. Just to show a little bit, you know, you can see the terrain art seems pretty clear. I think in a couple spots it's not as clear as I might want it to be, but it looks pretty good. There are a lot of charts that are in the corners here of the map. So, you know, what may be on a player aid sheet will also be handy reference. Handy reference on the map itself, different tracks to track air points and things. So, I'm not going to dig too much into the details for that here. You can see there's also places where you can track your lift command display. So, you know, what do you have? Planes? Do you have helicopters? Kind of what your limit is for those things. See, there's different hexes. You can see the city urban terrain is distinct and colored certain ways versus maybe a smaller city. I have to look at the terrain chart and understand the nuances of all of that, but there's nothing here that really sticks out as, you know, crazy, right? And I may have gotten an extra map sheet. That's weird. Now I kind of do want to. Okay, that's the north map. I have a full north map. That looks good. And this is the south map, as far as I would be able to tell. And it looks like it's the whole south map. And this also looks like the south map. I don't know. Interesting. I guess I have. I'm trying to see if there's something I'm missing. It does look like I have 2 south maps. So this is probably a mistake just in sending. So we'll want to make sure we keep a good look at what else has come in the box just to make sure we have what we need. So the counters are all here. The counters are all put into an extra plastic seal, which I am really not used to that being the case. So apologies, guys. I've got to fight with this to get this opened up before I can look at the counter contents. Already I can tell you it looks like these counters are the thick brown core quality, which is good. I think what really is going to matter is what is the what's the quality of the cut. It's actually getting to the point where I need to grab some scissors and try to get this cut open. There we go. All right. Now we're in business. And woof, I can already tell I've got counters wanting to jump right out already at me. Uh-oh. Let me set these guys down and get the rest of this plastic off. Well, I can tell you already this is a huge improvement over the last sort of counter situation with a Compass game where we had some challenges with the Korean Designer Edition counters. So here, let's see if I can pick this up. Whoop! There goes some counters that are trying to come out. Okay, so just looking briefly at these, be careful with them. It's brown core, good quality counters. The cut, very good. As you can see, I've got stuff that's just about to pop right out, which that's actually kind of what I like. That the cut, when it comes to the science of counter sheets, you want nice, good, strong counters, but you want the cut to be so good that these things just sort of pop right out. Now the sprue looks like the connection between the counters from here to here looks strong. So when we go to punch these and they come out, I mean, I'm just going to let this guy come out. You're going to have to bust these sides off. There's probably going to be some pretty big tufts, which means this is probably a game you want to look at for clipping. If you don't clip your counters, okay, but I think this might be one that I would want to clip. But you can see of the different units, different divisional designations or groupings based on color and the parent unit. So the second GT, you can see that it looks like they all belong to the same group. And woof, yeah, I've got counters just wanting to pop right out. No wonder they decided to put plastic bags on these. So I'm going to set these aside real quick. Oh man, yeah, these counters are just coming right out. I do not see any cut registration problems so far. They're all looking good. That's a good sign. Whoa. Oh boy. I'm already halfway punched through the game, guys. I'm punching this faster than anyone could imagine. Yes, it looks like I have no registration problems, but gosh, I've got a lot of counters that are busting right off the counter sheet. Again, a good thing, by and large, a good thing. Just watch out and hope that as you unbox your own copy that you are careful, because you're going to have the counters that are just coming right out, coming right off right away. So I'm going to put this stuff all back in here, and I will get to punching the rest of the counters and organizing all of that in some time to come. But yeah, there you go, guys. That's the unboxing. A lot of content in here. I wonder if anyone else has gotten an extra map. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below if you got a copy yourself. I'm glad I'm not missing anything as far as I can tell. It seems like I got everything that I needed. The reinforcement cards we had, the player aid cards, I think we had all of that. I might need to take a closer look at those player aid cards just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I do think that was all of them. Yeah, the 3 standard ones, and then we had the big sequence of play terrain chart ones. That's 8. We did have 3 reinforcement cards, rule book, all that. Okay, and we just ended up with an extra map. So, woof! Yes, heavy game, guys. Good production quality. The counters are going to be real easy to get access to. Kind of a different situation from the Korean War publication. So don't expect anyone to have any issues with this. I am looking forward to trying this out. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I've got a lot of games currently in the queue to do, but I did intend on getting this to play it, probably solitaire. So we will get to this one eventually, guys. Let me know your interest in the comment section down below, and we'll take a look at it in due time. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this gives you a good look at the game if you're interested in purchasing it. And until next time, take care and keep on gaming.